Nchi na chakula, matunda yote. Kazi wenye wako kwa ofisi, hata hizi zetu za mboga zinakuaga tu hivyo. Kwa hivyo wasiheshimu kazi hizi, zimetulelea watoto, hata saa hii tunasomesha watoto, ni kazi kama ile ingine.
As dedicated as she is to her work, Wanjiku nursed different dreams as a child.
Vile nilikuwa mdogo, vile nilienda shule, hata nilisoma na nikapita, lakini sikupelekwa shule. Ningeweza kupenda, nilikuwa nataka sana niwe daktari. Sasa sikusoma, nilikuwa nahitaji niwe daktari, sikusoma.
She however hopes to achieve these dreams through her daughter, who is currently in high school and hopes to one day be a doctor.
Nikiweza kumulipia karo zote, ataweza. Lakini sasa nikishindwa vile maisha iko, si unaona hatatimiza.
Mary Wanjiku's story is indeed food for thought as the country heads into the next general election. The wounds of the 2007 and 2008 post-election violence are still fresh for her and many other victims, as long as Kenyans continue to idolize leaders' interests ahead of their own. Are you one of them? You decide. Ngena Kirori, NTV, Naivasha.
Now back to those seeking your vote, and Mike Sonko's jubilation at being cleared to contest in the Mombasa gubernatorial race was short-lived after the Supreme Court upheld his impeachment, effectively having the last word on his suitability to hold public office. Earlier today, I asked him what next, and his response is never say die. I'm joined by impeached Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko and now aspiring Mombasa Governor. Sonko, I'm not even sure aspiring is the right way to characterize it now. The Supreme Court upheld your impeachment. Therefore, technically, you have exhausted all mechanisms of appeal. Is it deliberate that you're wearing a shirt that reads, "Never give up"?
Yeah. Not only in politics, even in life, you should not give up in life.
Mm-hmm. But where is there left to go?
I think if you look at Article 2 of our Kenyan Constitution, it talks of the international treaties, international law, they can be admitted here in Kenya. That's Article 2, not Sonko. Article 2 of the Kenyan Constitution, sub-Article 3, 4, 5, and 6. Mm-hmm. And I think we have a precedence. If you look at the Supreme Court case of Martha Karua versus Anu Eguru and Attorney General, Martha Karua did not get justice on costs here in Kenya. She lost at the High Court, she lost at the Court of Appeal, she lost at the Supreme Court. Yeah, where did she get justice? She went to the East African Court of Justice. She got justice from there. And in any event, if she could have lost there, she could have still have gone to the East African Court of Appeal. Shida wa Kenya, see what wanaelewa hizi mechanisms za judiciary za sheria.
So you're not ready to accept this judgment?
Now, why the Supreme Court went wrong? They did not give us time to file our evidence. They had our case bila to file our evidence. And I want to repeat myself, my appeal has been there since the 4th of April, 3 months ago. They were supposed to have written to the respondents, bring your responses. Yeah. After the respondents, write to me, bring your final submissions. That was skipped. And I'm happy. When they told us to proceed on the 14th, my lawyer, or my lawyers on record, protested against this. Nyamo wrote to the Supreme Court on the 12th of July and told them, no, this is wrong. Check your records. You have not gave us any directions to respond on what has been filed by the respondents. And in any case, even the respondents themselves have filed nothing in the court. So there is no way we can proceed. And I'm happy again, the Supreme Court admitted this blunder. I have a letter here from the Supreme Court, a very brief one page later, on the 12th at 3:30 p.m. Supreme Court admitted this position and they apologized actually to me as the petitioner. They are saying, it has since come to our attention that due to an inadvertent mistake, their mistake, directions were not issued in respect to the petitioner filing submissions in support of the petition. We apologize, Supreme Court, we apologize for this oversight and hereby enclose further directions for compliance by the parties. They're apologizing. The court is supposed to give you time. even if it's a week, so that it doesn't look as if I'm buying time. 7 days, 10 days, you study the responses by your opponent. You prepare.
My question
you go paragraph
is
by
this,
paragraph.
You're
Yes.
seeking to contest the Mombasa gubernatorial race.
Yes.
Ballot papers are already being printed.
Yes.
The IEBC came in and asked the courts,
Yes.
decide these cases quickly so that these people are not locked out.
I agree with you.
Yeah? So did you not expect the Supreme Court to handle this matter as expeditiously as possible within their power?
No. Article 50, you know, we should get fair hearing. Hatuko suppose kukimbisha mambo ku impress mtu mmoja ama wawili. The law must be followed in the interest of justice. I want to give you a very good example. There is another MP who was sentenced to 67 years imprisonment. He's on the ballot, member for Serisia, Honorable Weluke. He's vying and he's a convict. Is there law for Weluke and law for Sonko? I've been telling Kenyans this from before. His appeal inakuja February next year. Why Sonko yake yarakishwe? Judgment of over 2 million pages, hearing ifanywa na 1 day, judgment the following day. Walipata times ngapi ya kwenda through all the detailed submissions of my opponents.
So even as you prosecute this in the court of public opinion,
Yes.
do you really see this going anywhere?
Yes.
Do you expect your name on the ballot come August the 9th?
Yes, because Article 193 sub Article 3, that made me to be on the ballot, is very clear. You have to exhaust all avenues of appeal. I've not exhausted. I'm still protesting against the Supreme Court's verdict of yesterday. The petitioner remains at liberty to file soft copy of any rejoinder by noon on the 13th July. I was with all my lawyers in Mombasa. All had copies to be filed. All had copies of the filed responses and submissions to be filed at the court registry on or before 2 p.m. 13th of July 2022. While on that 13th, I have a notice from the High Court of Mombasa to all my lawyers and myself. Take notice, the matter which was slated for judgment on 15th July 2022 has been rescheduled to Wednesday 13th July at 10 a.m. in an open court. Open court means I'm supposed to be there as the petitioner. All my lawyers are supposed to be there, and we're all there. So by this time, they're telling us to file at the Supreme Court, 10 a.m. We were in court, waiting for our judgment. So put yourself into my shoes. You are in the court, waiting for a verdict against the IBC. The Supreme Court tells you, come back to Nairobi, file your further evidence. And in this case, remember, our opponents, the respondents, had filed nothing. They're supposed to file their responses. We go through page by page, then prepare our final submissions and file, and be given a time to go and argue before either open court or virtually. Another problem, Martha Koome had already taken an opinion that she had made a statement that impeached governors are not supposed to be on the ballot. Yeah, convicted, whatever, anyone who is supposed to vie and is convicted is not supposed to be on the ballot, which was wrong. It was against the Constitution. And I have a problem only with the Chief Justice. She knew we were going to seek for recusal. The direction they did to us, yeah, they told us the matter will be listed for hearing of the petition before a 5-bench judge on the 14th at 9 a.m. We were somehow comfortable. We knew Martha Koome will not sit. Why? She had already formed an opinion about me.
But this was an assumption. That does
not
not
an assumption.
Explicitly
It
state
is,
that Martha Koome will not sit.
No, but if you say Supreme Court is composed of 7 judge bench.
But it has not listed which judges will sit, has it?
No, if you say 5, because we already had a bench in this matter. The same bench that presided the preliminary objection issue, it was the same bench that gave these directions, the hearing to be on the 14th. So we knew she was not going to sit. But then in the morning, at 9, we are seeing the presiding judge on the 7-bench judge is Martha Koome.
All right.
We were shocked. We even applied, we told your lordship, may you recuse yourself. She refused, and she said no evidence. Yes, there was no evidence because we knew she was not going to sit. But she sat.
And
then what was that? Hiyo haraka ilikuwa ni ya nini? Kesi ya makaratasi milioni 2 Unaisikiza, unairule kesho yake. Even in the presidential petitions, we have never seen this kind of scenario.
Unajua mimi si jaji, nitaachia East African Court of Justice waamue hiyo. But whatever position, if indeed the Chief Justice took that position on persons removed from public office not being cleared to contest elective office, it is the same position that IEBC took when they refused to clear you.
You know, IEBC is an independent body. There are over 10 petitioners who took us to court to block us from presenting our papers. There was a three-judge bench that was formed, led by Justice Majanja. They lost. Why? Because of virtue of this Article 193.3. The law is very clear. Very clear. You have to exhaust. I don't want to repeat many times. And Chebukati, in this issue, he was wrong. Why? Why clear a convict serving a sentence of 67 years who was a pending appeal at the court of the High Court? You clear him. Then the case of Sonko, you treat him differently. You say, no, you have been impeached. And the law is very clear. Impeached state officers, public officers, convicted, the law is the same, applies to all of us.
That interview continues on the other side of this break. It's been a sort of a roller coaster because one day we see the High Court, three-judge bench has instructed IEBC to clear you to contest.
Yes.
A couple of days later, the Supreme Court finds that you are rightfully impeached.
Yes.
Two questions.
Yeah.
Before this High Court judgment happened,
yes,
we saw you with President Uhuru Kenyatta at Mihango.
Yes.
So people are wondering, did the state have anything to do with this three-court judgment?
I totally disagree with you. That was wrong.
Judgment.
The state didn't have anything to do with this judgment. However, I went to wait for Kalonzo at the Wilson Airport. I think a couple of days ago, before even the fixing of this hearing of the Supreme Court. Then actually I met my, I can say, political mother, Mother Karua. I remember I won Makadara constituency because of her ticket, not Kenya. She greeted me, tukaongea vizuri, nikamwambia mama, mimi niko ndani ya Azimio, but hujaniona sana because I've got so many court battles. And we have a problem in Azimio. Instead of tukubaliana who's the popular candidate, Arusue Kovai, we are busy fighting one another. I believe I can deliver more votes for Raila than my competitor in Mombasa, Mheshimiwa Abdul Somad. I have a lot of respect for him. Yeah? But that is not the case. Akasema, wewe ngoja hapa, baba anakuja tuongee. Because I also respect Baba, I respect all the leaders. After like 10 minutes, Baba came. Kijana yangu huko, I was seated with kina Andio. Huko, I want to talk to you. Akanivuta Baba kwa room. Akaniambia, hii maneno nataka usaidie Abdul Somad to step down. Akaniambia, no, I'm more popular on the ground than Abdul Somad. When I was there, my friend called. You don't have any problem with him. Nilifanya makosa, tukasameheana. Hata wewe unaweza kosewa hata nyumbani na bwanako.
Sasa huyo rafiki ni President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Bwanako anaweza amka na stress akuchape kopi asubuhi. Kesho akwambia sweetie pole. Nisamehe. Utamsamehe ama umsamehe?
Sioni nikimsamehe hiyo. Lakini
that's another story.
Amepigia President Uhuru Kenyatta.
No. He's my friend. And I want to even thank him and praise him in a very big way. Yeah? He's a very understanding president. Kama Uhuru angekuwa mtu mbaya ma dictator vile watu wanasema, asingesemana na Raila, asingefanya handshake. Asingesemea kijana kama Babu Owino ambaye alimuita mbwa. Yeah? So this is a very understanding president. Sidhani kama tutakuwa na rais kama Uhuru.
So amekupigia.
Yeah, naenda Nairobi, nataka tuende pamoja. Simu yangu kaisha moto. Ikakatika. He called Raila Odinga. With Sonko there, yes, mpatie simu. Excellency, sasa niko hapa, niko nangoja Kalonzo. Okay, come to State House. Tuende tutembee pamoja kwa projects tuangalie. In good faith. Yeah? And I want to thank him for that. Sababu nimetolewa Nairobi, I'm no longer the governor, lakini anakuinvite tuende pamoja to inspect projects zile state zimefanya. Remember the BBI case?
Nakumbuka.
If the president was in control, why did the BBI case collapse at the High Court? Why did the BBI case collapse at the Court of Appeal? Why did the BBI case collapse at the Supreme Court? Kwa nini rais akupiga simu huko kusema asaidiwe? So let us not bring the president's name in this. Wacha mimi nipigane na hali yangu, but just accept Martha Koome has done a very big blunder in this country.
Haya, astaki tuendelee.
Not about Sonko, sababu sitaki scenario ya kesi zikirule koti ni nzuri. Zikirule vibaya ati kesi koti no, all the judges are good. From the Magistrates Court, High Court, Court of Appeal. I only have a problem with one judge who messed up with my life and my impeachment. Number two, I only have a problem with one judge, the President of the Supreme Court, who messed up with my life.
My question is this, if we are to go down that train of thought. The Senate upheld your impeachment. Ilitoka County Assembly, ikaenda Senate ikapita. Ukweli? Aya, Senate upheld. The High Court, even if you have a problem with one of those judges who presided over that matter, it still went to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal upheld your impeachment. It then moved to the Supreme Court, which upheld your impeachment. Are you saying all these people are conspiring against you?
Yes, it depends. It depends how that judgment has been acquired. There's a certain chief magistrate will issue order. Sonko, don't talk about this guy anymore. Don't go to the media.
So tribunal wanashughulikia hiyo maneno.
No, wacha nikumalizie because it's a very important question which you have raised. Mimi I talk through evidence. Sipendi kuwekelea sababu nimeshindwa. Basi inategemea ile ushindi imepatikana kwa njia gani? Ya haki. Kama ni haki, I'll concede. Kama si haki, I'll fight. Kwa nini unidhulumu? While you had an opinion already formed in your head that Sonko should not be on the ballot. Then you're the same woman, I respect you a lot, presiding over my matter. Your juniors are scared of you. They'll follow your directions.
But then you're sitting here singing the president's praises, saying you are unfairly removed from office.
Yes.
You are also the same man who signed away functions belonging to the Nairobi County Governor.
Yes.
And you said you were intoxicated.
No. There was a lot of misunderstanding by then. There was a lot of communication breakdown by then. It is true, some documents which I signed, I was not aware what I was signing for.
So you want Mombasa residents to then trust you to govern their county?
Mombasa is very different from Nairobi.
How do you sign things you're not aware of? You're a man who carries...
Listen, I read what I was signing for. Yeah? But on the last day of doing the addendum, on the final document, some of the things which were factored in the final agreement were not there in the initial agreement when we started this thing. Yeah? And there was a lot of communication breakdowns, I'm telling you. But after some period, or after a duration, or after some time, we have seen what the president has done for Nairobi people.
So are you now conceding that given the issues you were dealing with the authorities at the time, it was the best thing for NMS to come in and manage the county?
No, you are wrong. I won't allow you to go there. I won't allow you because why I'm not allowing you to go there, there are some reasons which made me partner with the president. Reason number one, I was told not to step to the county offices. I was barred from accessing my office. So I thought it was a good idea to partner with the national government.
Speaking of partnership,
yes,
I don't know that you've had a lot. There's this speculation that President Uhuru Kenyatta has welcomed you back into the fold in order to push Polycarp Igathe's gubernatorial ambitions for Nairobi.
That is a lie. People are trying to tarnish the president's name. That's nothing. Remember.
So how campaigning Polycarp?
Remember what? It's an Azimio candidate. I'm always busy in courts, but kama ningekuwa free, I'll campaign for the Azimio candidate. Wherever tunaenda.
Nataka tumalizie. Yes. Polycarp Igathe, you're saying you will campaign for the Azimio candidate. The Azimio candidate in Nairobi is
my friend,
Polycarp Igathe.
The Bible says, kabla usaidie wengine jisaidie. There's no anigacha kesi zangu Mombasa nikuja na kampeni Igathe Nairobi. And I've no, he's my good friend. Yeah. Nilikuwa naenda mimi kupigana na kesi zangu kotini, sija kampeni Mombasa.
But una support candidature yake?
Candidature yoyote ya Azimio, mimi nikiwa kwa Azimio, nitaisupport.
Utaisupport?
Yes.
Because I'm asking this because this is a man who resigned 6 months into the job because he said he could not work with you.
I don't want to talk bad about him because he's not here to defend himself. But unajua ni softie. Alikuwa softie. Mtu amelelewa huko juu. Mimi ni mtu ya ground, mashinani. Elewa? Sasa the pressure labda asingeweza kuikubali. But pia
Joe alikuwa anasema ni kama mlikuwa mnataka kumcompromise.
No, how? Labda wao ni compromise mimi because mimi I had seen all the loopholes including digitizing revenue. including kushika watu walikuwa wanakula hongo, including kutoa revenue collections za ukora, nikapeleka kwa serikali, National Bank. And that blanda ile nilifanya mimi, nilionyesha watu sitaki pesa.
Na IBC kisema hautakuwa kwenye ballot.
IBC kisema kwa njia gani? You know, we
Should
have...
they say the Supreme
Okay,
Court
it is wrong to release all your weapons to our opponents. Ndio wasene kutublock, but sababu umeuliza swali lazima nitajibu. Kuna kitu inaitwa review. Kuna cases, nitaziongea kwa press conference ambapo reviews ilifanyika za Supreme Court na wakageuza ubadilishaji. There are so many technicalities involved.
And I'll leave it at that, but
that
it's
wrong.
interesting. You're saying two standards of justice. You're saying why target Sonko, who was impeached, and allow convicts to run for this office. But were you not convicted as well? At a certain point, I remember mambo ya shimo la tewa.
But what did I do? Did I rape anyone? Or kill anyone? Or steal any money? It was a contempt of court case. It's a normal case. I was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment and I appeal against the sentence. My appeal was allowed. Kama mimi Sonko na masolo zangu nimedhulumiwa, how about a normal Kenyan? Wala nyang'anywa mashamba. Na kesi ya Mavidio kunyang'anywa mashamba Nairobi nilimaliza. Check the revenue that Sonko was collecting and what is being collected now.
Kwa hivyo unasema mwenye yako governor sahi afanyi kazi?
Nasema revenue, mimi najitetea what I used to do. Ambaye mimi nimefanya. So nika reduce bills from 64 billion to 11 billion. Sasa zimeongezeka to 85 billion from 11 billion.
Wacha tuiachie hapo.
So mimi I did my part. Lakini katezwa kaganga. Have you heard ile msemo inasema corruption always fights back. Yeah? One day Kenyans watakuja sema Sonko, he knew what he was talking about.
Okay. Yes. We appreciate your time, for taking the time to speak to us. I will see you on the other side of studio. And here we are on the other side of studio. We sought comment from the Office of the Chief Justice, and she said her comments on the question of impeached governors and elective office were taken out of context, or more accurately, misrepresented. That full interview can be found on ntvkenya.co.ke. In the interest of time, we were forced to edit it shorter. Politicians are accused of shredding Chapter 6 of the Constitution, acting below the integrity threshold. The impunity is plain to see, but not so for consequences. So where is Mwananchi's hope? The ballot. Mark Masai opens up the 6th chapter of the 2010 Constitution tomorrow at 9 p.m.